The champ is here. That's right. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Gave me a talent, so let me flaunt the gift.
Broadcasting live from the Property Cashflow Studios, this is the Property Cashflow Experience, the world's leading podcast on building cash flow in property, real estate, fast. Hosted by the Cashflow King and your favorite mentor, the possibility of living the life you desire starts here.
Damn. Let's get ready to rumble!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Property Cashflow Show. I'm Neil McCoy-Ward, your host. This is my co-host, Mr. Dwayne Squires. How you doing, Dwayne?
I'm all right. Thanks for introducing me, Neil. So we're on to the third session.
Yeah,
We've
this
had
is the third one.
Set 1, 2, and now this is 3.
Yeah, we're going to do this one different because when we actually watch back, for those of you who are watching this, like I know some of you are on the podcast, but we actually watched it back and we were all like, oh, what is Neil on crack or something? Because I'm like, hey, welcome to episode 1. I'm not sure what happened. I got a bit carried away.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of like, oh, this is the first
And
one.
I've just realised that I have one of the most sweetest chocolate voices. I've got a Barry White voice out here. So I think I've enjoyed that.
That's what Jazz said.
Yeah, that's what Jazz said.
Yeah.
You didn't say that, did you?
No, we're not going to say what he said on camera. No, we're not going to say that.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
I think there's a lot. So it's the new year, isn't it?
Yeah, we're
so
talking
we can
about...
talk about plans, goals for this year, and then if time permits, we'll go into another topic.
I got loads of questions from people, but I think we should go over what most people want to hear. Like whenever people are commenting or messaging, they want to know like what's behind the closed doors, what we're doing day in, day out at the office. That's what a lot of people want to know. So why don't we talk about...
there's a lot of questions there. So
let's talk about what we did yesterday for our planning meeting. So that was like, this is for February, March for the rest of the year, what we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. So let's start with that. And there's a lot to talk about there because throughout the different companies.
That'll probably take up one episode, won't it?
Yeah, that'll be about 5 episodes.
Because it took us, we started around 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Finished around 4 or 5.
Yeah. So and then we didn't even finish.
Yeah.
We didn't
got
even
to
finish.
catch up next
that
week,
was just the lettings and the sourcing, so the property business.
Yeah. So 7 hours worth of...
Yeah, that didn't even include Serviced Accommodation.
7 hours worth of meetings. Now we're having to condense it in a short period of time. Let's see what we can do.
So let's talk about the rent-to-rent business first. Because if I was a viewer or listener, that's what I would want to know. I think that's the first thing I'd want to know. You know, they know that we have one of the biggest rent-to-rent businesses anywhere. So if I was there and I was listening to it, I'd be like, what do they talk about? What's their plan for this year? Are there any changes? Are they growing it? Are they shrinking? Like, what are they doing? So should we start with that?
Yeah, let's do that. So when we start with rent-to-rent, let's probably take people back to 2019. So that's when I joined the company.
Yeah.
And one of the key things that we talked about before joining the company was saying, okay, well, we've got a lot of things that we want to build upon. So we've got a large portfolio, one of the largest rent-to-rent portfolios. But if we want to expand it further, we need to really fill in a few gaps here and there, tweak a few things. So 19 was about putting some good processes, systems in place. And also, there was a few changes in terms of personnel, which is normal. It's normal for any business.
Yeah.
So we just needed to adjust for that. So now we've got like a really strong base, strong quality people on the ground, as well as processes and systems, trainings. It's now a year for the rent-to-rent, as well as across the board, for us to expand things.
Yeah, definitely. Because my focus last year was getting the Property Cashflow Academy going. There was a lot. I mean, if I was to tell you how much hours went into these training courses, you wouldn't believe it. It was like 10 hours a day, 6 days a week for months, like 6 months straight. Yeah. It was ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't think, what people don't appreciate is, let's say however many, like 1,000 hours for each course, which is a lot more than that, but let's just say it's 1,000 hours. Then you've got to do all the online stuff. Then you've got to build the webinars. Then you've got to build the little training courses. Then you've got to build all the content as well.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So whilst I was doing that, you were doing all the systemization.
Yeah.
So basically you came from Rolls-Royce, right, as a management there. You came here and you took on all these systems that I thought were great in the company. You were like, nah, nah,
quote
mate.
unquote great.
Yeah, let's get rid of this. Let's put this in instead. Let's put that in. And you took on, and I was like, yeah, you just do what you
But I think that's good for us to get some fresh pair of eyes over it.
Yeah.
So I'd come in, I've never seen the systems before that was implemented in the business. I've then taken my knowledge from Rolls-Royce, knowledge from other parts of my other businesses and said, okay, where's the gaps?
Yeah.
And then it was ready just running with that and putting that. And to be fair, which is good, we've now got a really strong foundation.
Yeah.
And what I found was what's the benefit is you can literally take those systems and processes and put that into PCA. Because, you know, when we talk about things over lunch, over tea, whatever it might be, you can have a business where you're doing everything.
Yeah.
And you're just, you know, one day you're a salesperson trying to talk to a landlord, for example.
Yeah.
And then another day you're viewings with tenants, etc. You just have so many different caps.
Yeah.
Which is always good. You're learning. But when you're setting up a true business and you're putting a good quality systems and process in place, you've then got a true business that you can work off, right?
Yeah. So that was me 2014 to 2017. I was doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I gave it across to Joe, property manager. So he took it on. And then when you came in, you had experience, but you were like, I said to you, no, Dwayne, you need to like get in and do this stuff because then you can learn it, right?
Yeah.
You can like get your head into it, even though you've got experience. Get your head into this stuff. Do viewings. Do all the like check the maintenance requests. You know, find tradespeople. Do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if you enjoyed that or not, but I enjoyed it at the start, but after doing it for a few like years, it's like I don't really want to do that stuff anymore. I prefer doing like the big picture stuff now, looking in.
But I think that was needed, wasn't it? Because new area for me, new business, and you know you can be sat in the office thinking this is how things work, but when you actually go on the ground, you actually see something different and you see where things can be improved.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we found a lot of improvements.
Loads.
So now it's like the business is ready lean.
Yeah,
it's
ready for next level growth.
Exactly. Ready stepping up again.
So let's talk about what we decided upon. Because I think that's the key thing. So I think we had different ideas at first and we came together on what we thought in the end.
Yeah.
So
do you want to start with what you thought or your thoughts, and then I can say my thoughts and what we agreed on?
So my thoughts are, I don't want to take on, because we get offered 3-bed houses and all this sort of stuff. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to take these on.
Yeah.
Because even though you were saying some of them are profitable, like, oh, even at a 3-bed, you can make £500-600 on these. You may as well just do them. And I'm like, I don't really want to do them. But then we were talking about, well, we've got a couple of houses still. We've got 2 3-beds left, I think. We haven't got rid of those. And they're doing okay. And we were like, oh, should we not? And I said, I'd rather like not have them. And you said, well, they're all set up. We've invested the money into them. They're running, so just leave them. Yeah, because they're making like, I don't know, 500 or whatever. I don't even know what it is a month on them. So you may as well just leave them. So I was saying, I don't want to take on unlicensed properties this year. I only want to take on licensed properties, right? So that's what my thoughts were, because the licensed properties, we're going to make, like the average is minimum £200 a room, right? That's the profit. You know, so if you get a 5-bed, you can make £1,000 profit on it, right? So that's what I only want to take those on. I don't really want to take the unlicensed ones. So that's really where I was at. And then you said...
Yeah, so I think for me, I just look at numbers. And I had a viewpoint that said, okay, 3-bed, 4-bed, 5-bed. We've got various different sizes, haven't we? And in all cases, they're still making money. So our 3-beds make between like £300 to £400, and then we've got some 3-beds that make £500 to nearly £600.
Yeah.
So it was my thought process was, well, if when we get a lead in, we talk to the landlord, no matter what the size is, as long as we make more than like £300 or £400, just take it on.
Yeah.
But I think it was good for us to sit down, because in any business and any partnership, it's always good to get where each party's coming from, and then come to a solution on what's the best fit. Yeah. And I think that was healthy discussion, because when we sat down and we looked at, it's not just about what's the profit per property. It's what's the time it's going to take for your team to manage that property.
Exactly.
And
it's the roofs, isn't it?
Yes.
How many roofs? How many boilers? Like for me, if I was doing like 3-bed, I don't want to have 2 3-beds when I can have 1 6-bed.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 roofs compared to 1 to worry about. I've got 2 boilers that might break down as opposed to 1. It like just mitigates the risk. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah. So where did we get to in the end?
So what we decided upon was, well, a lot of people doing rent to rent, they focused on unlicensed. And there isn't really a lot of competition for licensed properties.
Yeah.
It's like if you think of it like a pyramid here or a triangle, right, like this, where the majority of people in rent to rent operate is here, right? They're all operating right there, whereas we want to operate here. You know, that's where we want to be operating because not a lot of people are doing the license stuff. And I get why. And, you know, especially on the training course, I teach people, do the license stuff. You know, start with the unlicensed, but do the license stuff because you can make a lot more money and it isn't really that much more work.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
It's just the setup.
Yeah. So I think where we ended up was, so when we look at Pareto, in terms of our portfolio, maybe we've got a higher concentration of 4 beds or 5 beds.
Yeah.
Now we're going for the 6+.
Well, 6, I think we stick to 6 because like 5, 6, because once you go to 7, you need the planning permission. And that's like, it's okay, but especially our council, they don't like to approve them, 7-bed plus. So I think we stick like 5 to 6 beds and we make our margins there. So that's my thoughts on it. And then we decided on the numbers, didn't we?
Yeah. So obviously when we sit down next week or continue it, we can refine it. But I think in terms of numbers, it's quite clear.
Yeah.
It's very clear.
Yeah.
So in effect, we want to add
1 a month.
Yeah, 1 a month. An average. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to build up another 12 of the licensed properties this year, which would be nice if we average, let's just say after the cost, we do 800. Right, after all the costs, we're doing like, say, 800 a month.
Per property.
Per property. Average, yeah. And we got 10, even if we only got 10 of those, that's 8,000. If we got 12, what's that? That's 9,600 profit adding to the monthly cash flow.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good target for this year.
And I think that's good because, so it's 9,600 profit.
Yeah.
And then, but it's 9,600 added behind good systems and processes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it would be against us if we just added these properties without us putting everything behind it. It takes a lot more time and effort and a lot more stress. But we said, well, our focus is double down, i.e. improve upon our rent-to-rent portfolio. Yeah. But let's now expand upon our property sourcing company. And
yeah. So let's finish with the lettings, the rent-to-rent then. So we're going to add at least £100,000 by the end of the year, right? So we're going to build upon it. But by the end of the year, we know that we're going to be adding 100,000 minimum, like for next year, right? So that's going to be coming in. So that's nice. So we're going to build up to an extra 10K profit. That's our margin. And then the sourcing company, that's going to be good as well. So let's talk about that.
Now we've got the rent-to-rent business. So the way we know how this model works is sourcing is like a roller coaster, isn't it? So, you can have a really big month, 1 month, and then the next month it goes down, and the next month it goes up, and it's just how the business works. Yeah. So when we look at our portfolio from taking a step back, it works well. We've got consistency in terms of rent to rent and building our portfolio. And then we've got the pots of cash that we generate sourcing. Yeah. So sourcing is where I love it because it's just negotiating, you're getting deals, you're looking at leads and you're looking to convert it. So when we look at our sourcing business, it's one where for this, we've got a goal by end of next year to hit the £1 million a year mark. Yeah. So that'll be next year, Yeah, so that's 2021. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out which year we're in because my wife's still in 2019. But so 2021, hitting the £1 million mark. But it'll be ludicrous for us. So it's a big goal. Yeah. It's a big goal. But it's something where we know with our skill set, with our team and the systems around us, we should be able to achieve that. Yeah. But for this year, 2020, our numbers are to do around 60 deals a year. Yeah. a mix of lease options, rent to rent, essays.
Yeah.
For us, we're not ones that are constrained by, oh, we need to do rent to rents, or
No,
we need
no.
to do one type of deal. It's literally look at the circumstances of that vendor or that landlord and provide a solution.
Yeah, and I think that's the key thing. Like we're actually fortunate, and this is what I'd recommend to people at home as well. You want to not just do one strategy.
Yeah.
Because if you just do rent to rent, it's a bit like, let's say you're a handyman, right? Someone calls you out and they say, "Oh, can you put these pictures on the wall? Can you nail these?" And you're like, "Yeah, I've got a hammer in my toolbox. Yeah, let me get those nails and you hammer." And they're like, "Oh, great. So that's rent to rent, yeah?" But then what if they say, "Oh, actually, you know what? My tap's leaking a bit. Have you got a spanner? Have you got a wrench there?" And you're like, "You know what? I don't have a wrench in my toolbox." And they're like, "Oh, well, thanks anyway. I would have given you 50 quid for that job." And you say, "Oh, well, I've lost 50 quid, haven't I? Because I haven't got a wrench." Right? So that's an example of like sourcing or serviced accommodation. You can walk into a property or situation and it might not be right for rent to rent. That's happened to me loads of times. And I've said, "Well, what do you really want to do?" "I want to sell the property. Ideally, I want to walk away from it. I was just thinking of a long-term guaranteed rent." And in that situation, I can pull out my wrench. "Oh, yeah, I've got a wrench here. I can actually offer you something different."
Yeah, so it's effectively having several different tools in your toolbox.
Yeah. So that's my
that.
top tip for 2020 for everybody watching and listening. Get different tools in your toolbox. Make sure you've got all this stuff, because if you've just got one, you're going to do well.
Yeah.
Right? You'll all do well. You'll make money, but if you want to make this be your biggest year yet, you've got to have a bit of everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, because when you look at statistics, so quick house sale companies, for every lead they get, the conversion rate will average between 3 and 5%. So that effectively means then you speak to 20 vendors, and out of that 20, one vendor is one where they're going to do a deal.
That's a terrible conversion.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we were talking about conversion ratios, weren't we?
Yeah.
And you were talking about, what you aim for with your other sourcing company, and then I was talking about what I used to get and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was saying, that's crazy, like 1 in 20 or whatever, because I worked to a 1-to-3 ratio. And you thought, "Oh my goodness, like that's 1 in 3 is quite good," or whatever.
Yeah, so when you look at statistics, quick house sale companies, they're doing conversion rates of like 1 in 20. So every lead that comes in, for every 20 leads that they get in contact with, or someone says, "Hey, I've got my house to sell," they're only converting 1.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's low.
Yeah, so with us having the ability to now convert with many more tools in our toolkit, we'll be able to, we're targeting 33%. And I know when we sat down yesterday, 33%, I was like, 33%? That's a lot.
Yeah, but that's because I wrote the book.
Yeah.
Sales Revolution.
Yeah. And I think it's really key here, because in my other sourcing business, we've used the Sales Revolution, and for us, we were getting around 1 in 5. So around 20% conversion. And for us, that was huge numbers, because we're like, oh, well, we're 400 times better in terms of conversion versus a normal quick house sale company.
Yeah.
But I think now that we're teaming up together in this sourcing company, we're now saying, well, actually, we're going to go from 20 to 33% by using the rules, but also by using your natural skills and experience to build upon that. So I think that's going to be some positive steps forward. Yeah,
definitely. And I think it's an example is that, do you remember that rent-to-rent deal we did recently? So that rent-to-rent deal came to us, and then I passed it to you, and you went to view with that landlord.
Yeah.
And that deal had been through, I don't even know how many sources had that deal. That went through everyone. Like, everyone knew about that deal.
Yeah.
They'd all met with the landlord. They'd all spoke to him. No one could get that deal over the line. Right? You went and met with him. You did it. You got it all planned out in principle. It was all done. And then I remember you were like, not that you didn't get the deal done, but you were like getting frustrated with it, because it was like all this stuff going on. And I was like, I was getting really frustrated with it. We're both frustrated with this deal because we saw why everyone couldn't get it over the line, right?
Yeah.
Because the landlord was difficult. He wanted to change all the legals. It's like, this is a legal contract. What are you talking? No, I want to change it. And then we've got luckily for us, we had a great buyer for the contract. So he was very flexible and he was willing to go above and beyond. He had a ton of money to put into it. So it was good.
So like, so with that lead or that landlord, so they came in, as you mentioned, every man and their dog had potentially spoken to him. But they've just given him one solution.
Exactly.
One simple solution.
And they all want to do a lease option. That's the thing. They were pushing for the wrong thing.
Exactly. But by us taking some time, speaking with that vendor, that landlord, understanding what's actually driving him to do a deal.
Yes, exactly.
So, he was an investor or landlord that had studied in the area. He had a property / 2 properties, but he wanted to concentrate on his other business.
Yeah.
And as a result, he lived abroad. So he wanted it to be 100% hands off.
Yeah.
But there was a bit of detail that he kept on. He did not tell everyone.
Yeah.
But by us answering the right questions, we uncovered it, and then gave him the solution that was needed.
Yeah, definitely.
And that just comes from, like what you mentioned, just having different tools in our toolkit.
Yeah. Well, if I just grab the book, this book, Sales. So this book's available on Amazon or via the website, Property Cashflow Academy, Sales Revolution. I'm just going to grab this and just flick to one of the model right at the start. And that's really what most people miss is in the marketing or the market segment, they don't do the right preparation for a start. So they go, oh yeah, I'm going to go for a lease option. And then what they do is they don't bond, which is the next stage, but they don't like evaluate and unearth the problems. And that's the thing. Like most people, when I'm speaking to them or I'm training them and I'm doing feedback, like, oh, they might come for a one-on-one session. And they say, oh, I didn't get the deal. It just couldn't be done. And I always say, oh yeah, give me his phone number if it can't be done. No. Yeah, give me the number then. I'll get the deal done. Because it is just a psychological process. And a lot of it's mathematics, but other than that, it's a psychological process. Right? There's like, if you think of it like a pivot, you've got your pain and you've got your pleasure ratio, right? You heard this before, pain to pleasure ratio, right? And then you've got a tipping point, haven't you? So all you're trying to do is find out what all these pains are, right? That's what you're trying to get to. What are all the issues this person's having? And then you tip them over into the pleasure ratio through future pacing. You're future pacing with them. So, okay, if I were to resolve this, if I was to resolve that, if I had a solution to this challenge you've got, never use the word problem, to this challenge, to that challenge, is that something you'd be interested in doing? Oh, well, and then the number one objection comes up, which is, do you remember it?
No. Go on, share it with us.
Price.
Yes, yeah.
That's always the objection that comes up. Price. Yes, I'm happy with everything as long as I get my price. Yeah.
But I think that's a good point because, it's funny, right? That specific deal that we did.
Yeah.
We gave a solution where we're given less money than any of the other competitors or
we were
any other person.
£500 under the other person.
And then the tenant will say, the landlord, should I say?
Yeah.
He's agreed a lower rent.
Yeah, £500 lower. Yeah.
And he then said, look, guys, I'll also contribute
to the refurb. What was he contributing? It was a lot.
I think it was around 8,000.
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
£8,000.
Yeah.
But that's all came from spending more time evaluating.
Doing that. And that's the thing. A lot of people who haven't read this book, they're just going in cold. They're going in blind. Yeah. And they're freestyling. Yeah. Like, guys, watching at home, listening at home, stop just throwing thousands of pounds down the drain. Just read the book. It's £10. Like, what more can I say on it? It's £10. Read the book, Sales Revolution. It'll get you sorted. So just to summarize then on that deal, out of all those people who couldn't get it done, we got it done.
Yeah.
And I remember what happened as we were getting that deal done. Do you remember that conference, the video conference? What happened?
Sure. Do you know? Because I was pulled away. I was dealing with
do you remember what happened?
A fire crisis at that time.
Bailiff just walks into the office. Do you remember? And he was like, oh, right, guys, you owe £50 on a council tax bill or whatever. Yeah. It was ridiculous. And we're like, right, honestly, we've just had a fire at one of the houses. We're trying to get this deal over the line. We finally got the vendor and the buyer on the Skype call. Can you not come in here? And he's like, no, I'm not leaving. I am not leaving till I get my £50. And we're like, what are you talking? So you're like, trying not to get annoyed. Jazz is there, like at the back, looking menacing.
Yeah.
I'm getting wound up. I'm like, this guy's winding me up.
You got Jason keeping his cool, isn't it?
Yeah, Jason's keeping his cool.
Yeah.
Right. So then that all happened all at that same moment. And this is the message, like for everyone watching, listening, this sort of thing is going to happen sometimes. And there's no explanation as to why it happens.
Yeah.
But you will have 3, 4, 5 challenges thrown at you all at the same time. And it's going to give you a migraine. And it's going to be so uncomfortable, but it pushes you to just deal with it and get on with it. So you dealt with the bailiff, got rid of him with his 50 quid. I dealt with a video conference, and then we both dealt with a fire situation afterwards. But we'll have to tell them about the fire another time, actually.
And we'll need to tell them the reason why the bailiff was knocking at the door as well. Because people might say, I thought you're making all this revenue. Why have we got a bailiff knocking at the door?
For 50 quid?
No, we'll definitely do it on one of these podcasts in the future.
We're going to have to tell them.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a really good story.
No, because now what's going to happen is you're going to get these trolls.
Yeah.
Have you seen my YouTube today? Goodness me, trolling.
All right.
Trolling on me.
Let's just get out there. Let's just get out there. Actually, it's actually quite linked to the YouTube comments that you're talking about. So keep it short and sweet, guys. Council tax. That was it. So we've got a couple of properties or a number of properties that all have students.
Well, let's not name his name because he might be crazy.
Well, he's talking to you, not me, mate.
Well,
so I'll leave him to you.
He might try and find out where I live and all sorts.
Yeah. Let's keep it really short and snappy because you probably want us to get back to what we're doing for 2020. But let's just
we're going to finish with the numbers. We're going to tell you the numbers on the deal source and packaging.
So we've got several properties that are all student accommodation.
More than several.
Yeah, just for several.
A lot.
Yeah, so we've got several properties that are student accommodation.
Yeah. Now,
one of the pluses that you get from students is that you don't have to pay council tax because council tax is exempt. Now, in exchange, remember when you do rent to rent, what are we doing with rent to rent? We're saying to a landlord, hey, look, here's your guaranteed rent. And then for the tenants, you're saying, we're giving you a service that's fully inclusive, all bills inclusive, including council tax, as well as electricity.
Well, we don't specify. We just say all bills included.
All bills included.
Yeah.
So for several of our properties that are students, we have these properties that are exempt.
Yeah, and we say all bills included. However, there's no council tax because we only take in students because it's council tax exempt.
Exactly.
So we're
specific. And then when we go to students, we all say, well, as part of your agreement, you need to provide us with the information that we need to service to the council to make sure that we can apply for it. Because sometimes when we take properties on, the numbers only work by us being able to do it on a student basis. Yeah. Because of the margins behind it. So in regards to this specific situation, several messages back and forth between me, the council, saying this property is council tax exempt. Here's all the ID. Here's everything you need. Everything.
Oh, but we're an automated system. We're an antiquated system because we're a council. So we don't even deal with any of that.
And because of that system, we want you to pay us in advance. And then later on, if
we'll
3-4 months down, we'll give
you.
right. This is a business we're running. Right?
So Dwayne's getting comfortable with it now. But most people don't like that. I'm comfortable with it. I'll just let these bills come. Oh, we're going to send bailiffs to collect thousands of council tax. 10,000 in council tax you owe. I'm like, whatever. I don't owe it. So let the bailiffs come. But then a bailiff did come.
That's another story. But so with this bailiff, so all the information was provided to the council. Yeah. Bailiff knocks on our door. We explain that all the information.
He didn't knock on the door. He just burst through the door.
Yeah, we explain. He did. He just opened it. But we explained that all the information had been provided to the council. As a result, nothing was applicable. Yeah. He was like, well, I've come to get my money. I've got a compliance fee of £75 just for sending you one letter. Yeah. And then for my visit, you have to pay another 300 quid. So what's the actual bill? Oh, it's £30. £30, crazy.
Like, what are you doing? Just get out. Are you trying to wind us up?
So for anyone, there's going to be pressure tactics, isn't there? Yeah. So you have to just remain calm.
But actually, it was more the opposite because he walks in. There's 4 big guys. Well, I'm not a big guy, but there's 3 big guys and me. looking angry. I'm annoyed. So I think it's the other way around. I think he felt intimidated in that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Because I was so annoyed that he came in right at that moment. And I was trying to deal with this and the fire. And I just looked at the guy. I probably got too close to his space. I saw he had a camera thing on. I was like, oh, he might try and add another fee for intimidation if I get too close.
Yeah, so
Not that he could really say that.
So
This guy intimidated me.
Yeah.
Small guy.
Yeah, so how do we resolve it? Literally, phone call to the council. And because we've got so many properties, we've got a direct relationship with the council. So the council officer, we spoke to them, and then they resolved it right there and then with the
and he had to leave, and he wasn't happy. He got nothing.
And then he left with his tail between his legs, and he had to go and find some other person who hadn't paid 10 quid.
But hadn't paid their £10. Moral of the story, though, we learned a lesson, and that was keep that door locked. Which is a shame because we have to keep the door locked now. But because that's
it is a shame. You know, it's funny because like this morning, do you remember we got a knock on the door from someone like looking around because they're trying to find one of their clients' offices, and then rather than you open the door, this is you put your head out the window. Hello, can I help you?
Yeah. People don't. The lady next door in the office is like, oh, that guy is so rude. He never opens the door. He only pops his head out the window. I'm like, there's a reason for that. Because we don't know who you are.
Exactly.
Do you remember the first time we had a bailiff? It was a woman, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
So we just never know.
Yeah. But that's why when we come to our offices, we always say appointment only.
Yeah.
But let's just wrap up. So So when we wrap up, because I know we spent a lot of talking about different things. 2020.
Bailiffs.
2020. Rent to rent at bottom line of 100 grand.
Yeah.
Property sourcing, 60 deals. Average
$5,000.
profit, 5 grand. But it might be that some deals make 3, some make 10, but average 5. So we're going to be signing up deals of 300,000. That's what we're aiming for 2020.
Net 240,000 on the sourcing.
Exactly.
So that in total, just on those two companies, 340,000 net we're going to add. That's
to
profit.
The bottom line. Yeah.
That'll be nice. Nice little holiday.
All right.
Yeah, 170,
maybe
170.
Buy a nice Ferrari. I don't know.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Nah.
My wife will kill me. She's like, before you go and buy those sports cars, I want to have my child.
Well, same.
Priority number one.
Yeah, that's
children.
it. Wives.
Yeah, hopefully she's not watching this.
Yeah, men, look after your wives.
Yeah.
Wives, look after you.
Number one.
Men.
Look after your wife.
Yeah, always. That's it. Treat her right. Treat her right, guys.
Brilliant. You know what? Let's wrap this up. So we're finishing off here. So hopefully you found this podcast interesting,
valuable,
entertaining. You got some good content from it. My name is Dwayne Squires. Your bass C speaker.
Well, I don't even know what that means, but I'm Neil McCoy-Ward, and thanks for listening. See you next time.